Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Asihene. I'm an artist. I'm a creative person. I work as a creative director for a company called NKACC. Basically, NKACC is a boutique agency in Accra, and we love creating or making ideas happen. Today I'm going to talk to you about creating content people love. When I was given the topic, I was thinking, what approach, what angle do I take it from, what do I speak to people about? But I decided to turn into a conversation, so we can just talk. At any point in time, if you want to say something, feel free, because I don't know it all, and I'm going to just shed light on some of the thoughts or things that run through my head. So it's not like an academic exercise where I'm going to give you 16 points to create content people love. No, this is just a conversation, and that's how we're going to take it. I guess this is the pointer, right? Okay. How do I start? How do I go to the next one?
Like the L.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so like I said, this is all about me. I won't talk so much about me because it's not about me. This is my website. I'll play back later, so you can just follow me on Instagram and Twitter, etc. Those things. So, first thing I want to say, this image. I don't know how many people recognize anything on the screen. Now that's content. I don't know if you understand what I mean. That used to be content. I grew up, it's not like I'm 70, no. I grew up playing with these things, those handheld consoles you take to school, you put in your bag, because your teacher is not supposed to see it. That was content when we were growing up. The Tetris, all those games. I don't know, does anybody remember any other games you used to play? PlayStation 1. He's a young guy, he remembers PlayStation 1 when I was going. Atari and all those things. You go to your friend's house just to go and play Atari. That was content. That's what we were used to, because when you're growing up, and guess what, there was only one, in Ghana, I'm speaking for Ghana, there was only one TV station. Who remembers? Exactly, the station of the nation. and you didn't have a choice, because the station would start transmission at 8 a.m. and close at 10 a.m. if it's a weekend. And then they'll come back at 4 p.m. and then close at 12. And that's what content was. You either have to listen to the radio, listen to KKD and Tommy Allen Forson, or you had to watch GTV. There was nothing like the internet. There was nothing like... Or then you can go and borrow a VHS tape from your friend and go and watch a movie in a friend's house, because one person has the tape, the other person has the VCR, video deck as we used to call it. So when we're going, that was content. That's what we knew as content. Yeah. Okay, so how many people remember this? Now that's content we loved, right? We loved it whether we had a choice or not, because at 10 a.m. this was going to come on and there was nothing else to watch, right? So this was content, and for me that's one of the first times I saw lip syncing. You knew they were speaking a different language, but their lips were moving differently, and you could tell that's not what they were saying, but you were... Was it even in English? No, it was in Chinese, yeah, and we loved it, we didn't understand. And you go to school and your friend would say, okay, I didn't have light, thanks to ECG. So, can you tell me what happened? And then you tell the person the whole story, and he did this and he did that, and he said this and he said that. And trust me, we didn't understand, but we loved the content anyway. Okay, one more image. Charlie, this is your slide thing, so. I'm looking like I don't know technology, Charlie. What am I supposed to point it?
Press the L.
L. Ah! Okay. So at 6:30, if you haven't taken your bath, trust me, you're missing this. It was on GTV Sundays. How many of you remember it? You remember the song?
Yes.
No. Yeah, the lyrics I don't know, so I won't sing along. But yeah, that was Captain Planet, and we all loved it. Okay, it had its positive sides. We learned a thing or two from it. We sang the song, etc. But to us, growing up, that was content. There were a few other things that came up later on. Then along the line, other TV stations came up, etc., etc. Can I go back? Please, can you go back for me? Yeah, here. Yeah. PowerPoint messed it up. Okay, so basically, that was traditional media. Traditional media, talking about radio, television, outdoor, and print. So newspapers. So those times you're either watching TV, you're either listening to radio, and it was just one radio station, GBC FM. Yeah, and then there was there's print. You had the weekend newspaper, you had New Times, Graphic, and obviously at that age we didn't want to read, we just wanted to look at pictures. So I'll flip to the comic side and read a comic for the week, and then that was it. Okay, that's how growing up for most of us was. Then all of a sudden there was this thing called social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And it sort of like opened our eyes, it opened Pandora's box. I mean, it was massive. You know, all of a sudden you needed to have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, and for once you didn't have to go to a big advertising agency, buy billboard space on a highway before you could advertise or tell the world what you had. For once, you could on your own social media page tell the world whatever you wanted to tell them, right? Now the thing is, content, for me, I think content is king. Because if you have the medium, then whatever thing you put out there, the world is going to see. So you should understand that whatever you put out there is what you are, or that's what you're telling the world. So you put out bad content, and your brand is ruined. Or personally, you are ruined. I mean, if you know what's been happening the past 1 week. Yeah, so... yeah, everyone can create content. I mean, everyone can. We all create content. In the morning, you wake up, you take a shower, you dress up, and you create content. You take like 1 million selfies. Ladies, some guys also take selfies before they go out. I mean, that is all content. I mean, those are the basis of content. Images, sound, all those things. I mean, we're talking about music, film. Now there's music, there's film, there's blogs, photos, GIF animations, makeup tutorials, hello. Unboxing videos. I mean, people buy a gadget and they'll put a camera and they'll open the box and tell you what's in the box. And now that is content, because I go online, I watch lots of unboxing videos, right? You do too. For things you love, yes. There's product reviews, there's music charts, music video charts, all of that. Memes. We all have like 1 million memes on our phone waiting for Arsenal to lose, and we send a meme to our Arsenal fans and troll them. We all do that. Mashups. I mean, people are putting together music. I know artists who have been discovered just because of their mashups. Aduma, if you know who Aduma is, and a few other artists like that. Now, that's the thing. Content is not everywhere. Okay? So then we are all in the position, we are all content creators now. We're in the position to create whatever content and put out there. Now, will people love it? That's what you ask yourself. I mean, people put up photos and they have 10 likes on Instagram and you delete the photo and go to their go through their analytics in their brain. So why didn't people like it? And this, no, my makeup was too, no. And then they changed their makeup, put it back together and posted again at 25. No, but the one before that I had 125. No, let's go back. Pull down the picture and do. The guys also do that. Ladies, please, the guys do that. They pretend they don't, but they do. Anyway, so will people love the content you put out there? How many likes do you get? I mean, that's why people will spend money to get attention on social media. They want to increase their likes. Some people have 20 million followers, and when the social network does a reshuffle, they come back to 200,000. They bought likes. Comments. People want people to comment on their pages. People want people to share. And with sharing comes things becoming viral. Positively and negatively. Okay. So, I was thinking, how do I come and tell you? I mean, do I come and give you, like I said, 5 steps to doing this or 20 steps? No, I'm just going to tell you what I think, what I feel, okay? And based on things I have done, based on things I've seen some of my other creatives do, based on things I've seen other brands do, and what I deduce from all of this. So the first thing I'll say is I think content has to be, for people to love content, it has to be simple. How many of you agree with that? Simple, because now people don't have time to decipher so much. The less text, the better, if possible. You need to keep it very, very simple. There's this phrase, KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it simple, stupid. Yes, just keep it simple, and people will love it. I just wanted to show you something. Please go back for me. Yeah, this. Oh, I wish you could see it as clear as I see on the screen. Can you see it? Okay, can someone tell me about this ad? Have you seen this ad before? Okay. How many of you understand it? How many of you understand it? Oh, the sinking in? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I saw this, I think a week ago. Someone sent it to me, and I was laughing. And I was just thinking about it. It's so simple, but there's so much depth to it. I mean, you can write like 13 movies out of this. What happened after this happened? What happened before? Why did the person do this? But the analogy I get out of this is, if you had used it, you wouldn't give birth to that kid who took that marker and scribbled in your car. I mean, when I look at it, I see a leather dashboard, like for a Mercedes or something, you know, and I just imagine how the father will be feeling. But that's it. It's simple. It's straight to the point. It's in your face. The brand name there, Durex. How many of you know what Durex is? How many of you don't know what Durex is? Okay. Okay. Pardon? The next speaker will tell you. Okay, so yeah, I think it has to be simple and straightforward. If you keep your content simple, people will love it. Because the thing is, you don't take too much time away from them, they just love it. Right? Okay, number 2. So I was trying to play with the way. I said hop on the trend mill. Now, things trend a lot nowadays. Okay, the hashtag sign used to be on our keyboards. We didn't know what it's for, but all of a sudden it's like a thing. You put a hashtag before a set of words, put them together, and you're creating a trend, and people are talking about it. I believe that if you want to create content that people will love, maybe it's a bit selfish to say. I mean, like if something is trending now, say the ladder challenge was trending like 3 years, was it 3 years or 3 weeks ago? It looks like it was so long ago. But that's the thing. That's how fast things pass. Now, if something is trending, you might as well just jump on board and create some content to leverage it. I mean, I've seen brands do it, but you need to be responsible for it. You don't need to do anything that's irresponsible when you're hopping on a treadmill, if you get what I mean. I mean, you don't have to share something that's, let's say, negative. I mean, that's just me saying, don't jump on a negative train and give it a positive spin. I mean, there was the ice bucket challenge some time ago, and that was all on social media. That wasn't on television. That wasn't on the radio. No, it was just on social media. Okay, and it was all over the world, and that's something that's been used for something very, very positive. I mean, obviously there were funny ones, because now nothing is serious anymore. Everything has a funny spin. So yeah, but yeah, it was used for a lot of positive things. Okay, I mean, the last two, the acid challenge and one corner challenge, I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, maybe somebody can just hop on that and do a post. Those of you who don't know about it, just try the hashtag. I mean, you might point it, but hey. And that's the thing. And people are hopping on trend mills and creating a lot of good content to benefit their brands. I have an example. Did I skip something? Okay, this one. Okay, so PowerPoint once again messed up my sentence. But the sentence says, why so much beef? When blah, 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 has all this amounts of sumptuous chicken or something. Now, so when you all heard about the SAC manifest beef, yeah, and we're going back and forth, and who's this and who's the best and all of that. So a brand just decided, okay, we sell chicken, and everybody's talking about beef. I don't know who wrote that copy. Anyway, okay, there they go, taking the credit. See, I didn't name any brand on my slide. It's not me, it's them. So, and I saw that and I was like, that's very, very impressive, because then that's something that was trending, be it positive or negative, because then whichever divide you are, you think is positive or negative. But then the copy was just brilliant. Why worry about so much beef when there's so much chicken at the said brand's location? Okay, and I think that was awesome, and that's an example of hopping on the trend mill, because then if something is trending and you think you can spin it for your brand, why not? Go ahead. I mean, and this can be copied for a video. So if they had made a video out of this, it could have been an animation with the two people rapping and fighting. All of a sudden, somebody brings chicken and they stop, and they dive into the chicken. You know, and I'm just giving you possibilities. I mean, there are so many possibilities. It could have been a GIF, it could have been a meme, it could have been a whole story, a comic. Funny enough, everybody has forgotten about comics, but the thing is, in this social media era, comics can also be good content, you know? But then, well. So, third thing I want to talk about is content with identity, and for me, that's what's on my heart. Because I believe that as Africans, or let's start with Ghana. As Ghanaians, we've lost a lot of identity. Are we in an identity crisis? No, we're not. But we're finding ourselves. It's like we took our identity, threw it into the sea, and now we have to take a boat and go deep and go and find it. It's our own fault, but we have to do it because that's what will make people love our content. And if you look all over the world, I mean, African content is in demand right now. A lie?
True.
That's like a line from a hip life song. Okay. So, now, high life, hip life, Afrobeat. You all know this progression. It used to be high life, smooth, silky guitar, renditions of nice songs in Twi, in Ga, in our local languages. And that's what our parents grew up to. And they loved it. When Ghana had its independence, high life was all over the place. Then, in the 90s, there was hip life. You all remember hip life. Is hip life dead? Is it? Okay, so, pardon? It's dying. Well, so that was hip life. And for what I remember, hip life is when we took foreign beats or a certain foreign element of music from hip hop, and we picked from our culture and what we had here and fused it together, right? That's what hip life was. So you could have like a very thumping DMX-like instrumental, and you could have somebody rapping in Twi with the same energy over it. That was hip life. Or you could have somebody playing a very silky, an extract from a vintage song and sing Twi over it, and somebody comes in to rap in English. That was hip life. For me, I think that's the purest form of hip life, because that's when we had our eureka moment and we said, let's just do this and it will work. And it worked at that time. Then I think after a while, we got into this state where we were confused, honestly, where music in Ghana got very, very some way. I don't know how you say some way in English, but you know what I mean. It got very distant. You know what I mean? Yeah, so at that point, we didn't have an identity. And funny enough, our neighbors came and, you know, I mean, kudos to them. But yeah, that's the thing. As Ghanaians, we lost our identity. So music influences from other parts of the world came to influence us. Okay, and we are still there in a way. Now, I'm going to play a video. Before I play that, then after that, I think there was the Azonto dance. Now, Azonto is content. I mean, Azonto is content. And if there's any kind of content that took over the world, it's what? It was a dance form that we named, I don't know what the name even meant, and it was so infectious. And if you were black and the music, the beat drops, there was something about Azonto, and there were like 1 million videos, and dance instructors from Denmark were teaching Azonto. What kids on the streets were doing Azonto videos, and they were putting on Facebook, and we were liking, we were sharing, and it became a global thing. Now that's content. Now the thing about that content is it had an identity. It wasn't breakdance, it wasn't salsa, it wasn't waltz. It was our content. The world hadn't seen it, so they shared it, and that's what I mean by content with identity. Now, then came Afrobeat. So Afrobeat also sort of like spun off the whole Azonto craze, and now it's a big thing. Very, very big thing. Producers like Killbeat are one of the best producers in the world. You understand what I mean? Okay, there's this video I saw on the internet, and I just wanted to share with you. I know how many of you have seen it, but I love it. Watch like 1 minute and I'll tell you about it.
With the O. Once had an afro and now some cornrow. Envious, I'm envy. Bending like a slinky. They get on my sneaker, but my boy, you never know. A rush is always killing. Ignorance be filling. The heads of me get that's my blood is always filling.
Check my thing. Stay here.
Like I'm a sad.
The accent.
I don't live in the tree. Especially about my people and especially about my culture. You see what on the carpet show just like he was a vulture. So when I say the mother name, then you figure it. That I'm a literate. But don't consider it. Cause that is when I'm vexing, perplexed.
How many of you have seen this video? Okay. So it's by a group called Talking Drums. Let's play in the background. A group called Talking Drums. It's Abeku. And how many of you know Kweku T? Okay. Oh wait, I want you to see Kweku T's face. Wait. Oh, sure. Wait. I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, Kweku, hurry up. And the video was shot by Panji. How many of you know Panji? Yeah. Okay. I want you to see Kweku T's face. So when you see him, you can laugh at him. Okay, oh, come. That's him. Kweku T. You should see him today. He says he's a guy. Anyway, so sound. Anyway, so okay, I'll come to this. So Talking Drums, I think that was like back in like 92, 93. I think so. And they picked what we had, the drums and all of that, and their accent was not. I mean, at that age, some of us we couldn't even understand. They were slanging and slurring. We didn't know, but we identified with it because, yo, that's our peeps, you know. Apparently, I even heard they were on 106 and Park those times. You know, it was big, and that was our people. They were in Fugu, and they did soundtracks to movies, and I was like, wow, and we all identified with it. This was even before the Reggie. We won't come to Reggie now. Let's talk about Talking Drums. Now that's content. That's people who picked what we have and picked what's out there, put it together, and they were a hit. Okay? So as people who are in the position to create content, what content are we going to create? If you're a makeup artist and your looks are always things that are mimicking things from 2019 winter collection from Runways of Paris. Winter, you know, it doesn't work. Meanwhile, we have so much here that you can actually pick on and build. And I believe content with identity is the way forward because now the world wants it. Now, these two images. So the one on top is of Mr. Easy, who's become, I won't say overnight success, but I mean, wow. I remember sitting down with Mr. Easy, he was playing the guitar. That was like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Now he's on Apple Next. And that's brilliant. Honestly, that's brilliant. For somebody who's Nigerian and has a lot of his musical influence from Ghana, trust me, we are all proud of him, are we not? Yeah. Exactly. And he's doing something right. What's he doing right? I mean, forget about it's not just about the heart he puts on his neck. No, it's more than that. It's the identity in the music. He's not trying hard to be somebody he's not. His voice is still that I call it malaria voice. Like he has malaria. Your voice. You know, that, when you have malaria, that's how you sing. Try it when you have it. I pray you don't have it. Anyway, but that's him. And the world sees he as soulful because they don't understand where he's coming from. We understand who he is, the kind of music he's doing. We understand the vibe behind it. So maybe we take it a bit casual. Yes, Mr. Easy and all of that. But the thing is, the world doesn't understand that. Look at Weala. Okay? She's touring the world. Look at our two favorite friends, our ambassadors. One Love and Mensa. Touring the world. No, you're laughing, but they're touring. You understand what I mean? Because they are creating content that has an identity that the world doesn't know. I mean, if you sell me something that I know, then why do I buy it? Now, the image below is a still from one of Sarkozy's new music videos, Overdose. Directed by David Nicholson. And honestly, I think David is a phenomenal director. No doubt. Tell him if you see him. I'm saying that because this still, just this still, you can watch the whole video. And I'm not saying this because it's Sarkozy. I'm even putting him out of the equation. I'm taking it from a director's point of view. If you look at this still, it's somebody who's thought of an image and put together imagery. Forget about the story. I'm not going to go into the story and all of that. But this is who we are, right? I mean, when there's an award ceremony and look at the red carpet, I see people wearing red dresses from designers from... I wish you were all mic'd so people will hear what you're saying. You know, people are wearing dresses from designers. I mean, yo, don't get me wrong. You can wear whatever you want to wear. But the thing is, what's the identity? Because every design, you could wear a simple white dress with one carrier at the back. I'm just saying. But what's the identity of the outfit? Who's the designer? What's the ethos of the creation? All of that. And that's what goes into content, because then our red carpet shows, it's just like us trying to be like what we see on the Style Channel and the NE.
Thank you.
You understand? But we need to start doing things for ourselves. And the thing is, there are great designers out there. There are great fashion designers out there who are getting popular via social media. Okay? They probably don't have the funds to be able to build, like, say, a shop on our flagship streets. Where's our flagship street? It used to be Oxford Street, now it's not. Where's Oxford? Lagos Avenue, now it's Banks. Where? Yeah, like imagine if a designer had like #1 Airport Square, third floor, this fashion designer, that would be great, but they don't have that. But guess what? Even though they don't have that kind of money and that kind of space, they are on your phones every day. They are on your computers, they are in your head. They are everywhere. So we need to support them basically. I mean, like, you know? Anyway, so, I mean, let me just go on. I'm getting emotional. Okay, I'm going to play this video for you. And this taking it from the Ghanaian point of view to the African point of view. Please play the video. Or am I the one supposed to play it? Charlie? Uh-huh. Please, I'm not advertising for them. Chigmatic, you like it?
Africa is on fire.
Oh, you pressed it or I pressed it?
Africa is on fire.
Ghana for Maya ready. You know what time it is? You and your crew, China. But nigga, Paul Betty. burning inside me. Chagale come. Who gave you that conquer? Now be us, see us, hold up. Salute you, don't salute. I check the loose. Abauti, we gon' have to find the boots. As Amuti, I'ma have to bless the youth. If the youth be absolute, we ready to move. Smooth seas only built a soft mariner. It's true real out here. Can you handle ya? God given, what little they'll be bringing. From say little, now we singing. It's only the beginning.
Oh, you know, I'll give you the link. You can go watch it later. You're using my internet to watch this. Okay. So the first time I saw that video, I was blown away. Not because I can't do it, or not because I haven't done something similar, but I mean, for once, it had artists from all over Africa. It had imagery shot in Accra. See, I was just Ghanaian. And I loved it. I loved it. See, there was no Mercedes Benson, there was no Bentley. There was no girl in a swimsuit holding some drink we can't afford. You understand? There was nothing in there that was not us. It's us. The fire, the energy, the dance, the locations, the lighthouse in the background, the boats from the sea coming back onto shore with the people in it, the Ghana flag, the lone wooden chair that we used to sit on in GSS, alone in the forest, the face painting. The girl was wearing whatever, but she still had on the face paint. She was holding a ragged doll. All of that. Now that's imagery that appealed to me as an African. And for once I was like, so why can't we just do this? And we end up creating content that doesn't even match up to theirs. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a Bentley, can you afford the Bentley that DJ Khaled can afford? No, you can't. Obviously not. No, you know, he's the best. You can't afford it. And when you watch their music videos or their films, the setting, I mean, like you see New York cops with guns and they're walking around and they're eating donuts and they're drinking coffee. That's not us. No. You understand what I mean? But the thing is, so let's say we put together a film, and for once they see what the African cop goes through. No, I mean, like, no, wait. What the African cop is supposed to go through. There was a policeman there. Anyway, so hey, I think that's fine. Anyway, so if we put out a movie that they see how the African scenario is, what kind of food we eat, all of that. For once, they'll get interested. I mean, because they don't know about it, and then we tell them our story. What is our story? Do you understand? I mean, there are people in London who are creating great music, but then you're listening to the song and somebody says to you, and you're like, gee, you identify with it. And the person on the other side doesn't know what chi is and wants, what is that? It creates a sense of curiosity, which ends up on our doorstep, and then it helps what? Our tourism, our name them, education, all of that. The foreign exchange. Get my drift? And the thing is, we can push all of this through what? Social media. Now we don't need to go and buy space on CNN to tell the world that this is who we are. No. We can't afford the space, $45,000. No. Forget about all of that. There's social media, because that CNN can follow you on Twitter. You can follow them on Twitter. On Twitter, you are the same. See, Twitter is a beautiful place. See, you can make it or break it on Twitter. I remember some time ago, I sent out a tweet, and some guy tweeted back at me. Hey, he went hard. And I was going to, actually I replied. And then my good friend here was like, hey, delete the tweet. Obviously, what's up? It's like, delete the tweet. I'm like, why? I was getting emotional. It's like, delete the tweet. Because on Twitter, everybody is the same. CNN, Trump, me. No, think about it. Everybody's the same on Twitter. Because then, if you're Kanye, whoever, everybody's the same on Twitter. And that's the power of social media. Maybe we're underestimating it. I have a friend who, on one of his evening sprees, was drinking with his friends and saw a can of, what was it? A can of something that had been wrapped in a Red Bull, an energy drink thing. And he took a phone and did a very passionate video. He's a poet, so you can just imagine. He went all passionate on the video, and this drink is bad. You know, he went very passionate and this and that, this country, blah, 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 blah. And he put the video on Facebook. We play football on Sundays. It was Sunday evening. I think Monday we woke up and this guy was like the most popular person in Ghana. I'm like, it's him. Like, yo. You know, but that's just because he addressed an issue and he put it on social media. And then apparently FDA came in and they summoned the company and there were restrictions and plenty things. Now that's the power of social media, and we underestimate it because then the thing is, he created his content for what do you call it? What course?
Social media for good.
Pardon?
Social media for good.
Social media for good. Hashtag him. Yes. He created something and it changed a situation. We underestimate ourselves sometimes. Now, the thing is, I saw this picture of Beyonce wearing our thing. And I realized that the world wants it. They want it. Like, it's like we have it and we are sitting on it and we are yeah. The world wants our content. That's the thing. If we don't want it, they want it. Because they've recycled their content for centuries. They've done it and done it and done it and done it. They want it. And we are sitting on it. It's like a gold mine. Do we want them to come and take it? Then 100 years later, we will say that they've done it before. So that's the thing. Let's package our content and let's take it out to the world. I mean, once in a while, somebody will say, oh, and Swiss Beats was dancing to Mr. Easy's song, or somebody was doing this, and we see it and we're happy. But that's content. We need to push our content out there. Okay. I'm going to talk to you about discovery. I believe that content, if you put out content, people should actually feel your journey of discovery. I can't pick this design and place it on my page and people will feel like they have discovered something. They've seen it already, they know it already. But you as a content creator, whatever medium you choose, blog, images, memes, videos, whatever, sound, music, whatever you choose, people should be able to feel your journey of discovery. Now, there's a video I shot about a year and a half ago. Please go back for me. Yeah, thank you. And it was a video for a group called Dark Suburb. Now, when I heard the song was very, very rocky, but it had this very African or Ghanaian thing to it. So I was thinking of what to create for the video. We spoke a lot of times, and there was a storyline that we developed. Now, it was a great journey for me because I was looking at creating this 4 or 3 minute video for the world, but I had to go back and learn. And that's how come I was able to create that video for the world. Basically, it's a story about a man and a wife. The wife is deaf, but you don't see that in the beginning of the video. So the man goes out and apparently he's lost his job and he's lying to his wife. So he steps out every single day in shirt and tie, what we used to cliche successful, and then he goes to work menial jobs. He cleans the floor, he drives a cab at night, sometimes he will sneak out at night, stuff like that. And then he'll come back and the wife is happy, smile with her, all of that. It's not like they were making millions of CDs, no, they were still trying to make ends meet. Okay, so the wife can't work, the wife stays at home. Now one day he leaves his bag and the wife discovers that he's apparently unemployed. So what she thought he was is not what he is. And there was an argument. Guess what? The lady can't speak. And I said there was an argument. So how did they argue? So the thing is, so when we're writing the story, we're excited. Yeah, so he should find the back, and then they will argue. And when we finish the story, we're like, wait, how are they going to argue? Like, and for me, that's when the idea. So I was like, that's it. That's the idea. Because then, for once, I started thinking like I could not speak and I could not hear, and that was an experience. So we had to get somebody to come and teach us sign language in the office. So I wrote my script. He will say this, he will say that, and then I got my actors in. So the male is here, female is here, and I revved director. I revved them out. They're angry. I'm like, okay, now argue. And then when they say the thing, then the guy will say no, it's like this. Then he'll point it out. Then they learn their argument in sign language. So when you watch this video, people were like, oh, no, it was actual sign language. I actually had to learn it, or they spell my name and all of that. I learned all of that. And for me, that was a journey. And for everybody who worked on that project, and the actors. So some way, somehow, I don't know, I can't give you the matrix or the analytics for that, but when you watch the video, you can sense, I don't know how to say it, but maybe I'm being emotional. But there's a certain sense of attachment, or you understand their story more, because you learn something. You understand? So for me, I think that content, as a content developer, you need to be able to take the journey. You can't take them to a place that you haven't been to. So that's something you should think about. Even with music, you need to understand the kind of music you're doing. Not because some Ghanaian dropped that beat, you take the same beat, then you do your own cover and you expect to hit. No, it ain't gonna work. Maslero. It's a Muchan Christmas view. So, I mean, your content should teach something or lead to discovery. Curiosity drives us. We want to learn. Everybody wants to learn. That's why this place is packed. Come to listen to me. Put in work, discover, and deliver to your audience. I mean, I believe that's your moral obligation as a content creator. And because you have a phone, you are a content creator. Okay. The next thing is unbox the medium. Now, this one is more like, I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm just going to sort of like lead you there. So, okay, you remember when Instagram, I don't know, it wasn't Instagram, it's just somebody's idea of putting 9 images to create a square, and so like all your images on the Instagram page tell one big story, but they come in parts. You remember that? The first time I saw that, it was so cool. But the thing is, how come I didn't think about it? How come you didn't think about it? Unless, of course, the person who created that first is in this room. Yeah. So, how come we didn't think about it? Because somewhere, we're always waiting for someone to pick the medium, unbox it, and then we dive in and start enjoying it. But the mediums, the social media mediums we have, social mediums we have so much potential and so many. Now, Instagram launched the carousel, where you can flip a number of images. The first time I saw it being used was by a lady, and guess what she did? Instead of doing the split with the one with my leg here, one with my leg here, one looking down, one looking up, one this and this, all she had done was, instead of stitching them together in one collage, she just gave us all the images like that. And I was thinking, so is that the best way you can use this? Then I saw another person create a long image, a long story, and you flip through this. So it's like you have a billboard, and you're just pulling it through a little, frame. And that was nice. I've seen another one where the images are connected, and that was lovely. I've seen a YouTube, and nobody has actually done this. I saw somebody do something like that. But YouTube, we always put up videos on YouTube, and at the end of a video, it would say, click here and watch the next video. But guess what? There's this boy who went to visit this girl, and he dressed up, he left his house, drove, and went to the girl's house. And when he got to the girl's house, there was a front door and there was a back door. So he decided, should I take the front door or the back door? And whilst he was deciding, and that's the video you're watching, the video ends. And the suggested videos are, you want him to go to the front door or go to the back door? And then you click the back door, and then another video loads. And then you go and you enter the back door, and you're going, and then he gets into the room, and then maybe there's somebody there with a girlfriend with acid. No, I mean, maybe there's maybe he's there with the father having dinner. So So you are there and you are, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, I couldn't knock, and you're fumbling. And then you get there and the father gets up. And the video ends and it goes like, does the father beat you? You want the father to beat you or not beat you? I want him to beat me, and you click that. Now think about that. That's like, it could be like 144 videos on one YouTube channel. It's just a story that you can enjoy. Now that's what I mean by unboxing the medium. It's something I want to do. Nobody should do it first. But I'm sharing it. That's the thing. So the thing is, we need to be able to unbox whatever mediums we are using. Then people will love our stories. So with all these things, I mean, the story is set in Africa, and you've chosen the right audience, all of that, you unbox the medium, then you get to the point where people get to say, now, that's content I love. I hear I have 1 minute more. So I'm done. Thank you very much.
No.
I'm done. I'm actually done. Oh, no, sure. I'm actually... Okay, wait. Last slide.
Oh!
Yes. I'm done. Thank you very much. Okay, so questions, comments, or after hers? Okay. Should I introduce her?
Yes.
I don't know so much about her. Okay, let's put our hands together for the next speaker. Oh, please put your hands together for her. Yeah. We don't have to do it in Ghana. Let's do it. We do it in church.
So our next speaker is called Mercedes Benson, and she's from the UK.
How are you doing? So am I supposed to mic her? Oh, no.
Okay, before...
Only word I know, so I need to learn some more words. So I'm originally from Nigeria, your neighbour, but I was born and bred in London, and I've had a really interesting career so far working for brands such as Puma, Adidas and Google. And because of that reason, social media and content creation is probably one of the most exciting parts of my job so far. So we're going to get into it just now. And big up Nana, because he kind of went into a lot of detail. So I'm just literally going to be adding on to that. Right, let's go. I can't see the screen. And how we can create content that people love. Now you're probably looking at these, can you guys see the screen, yeah? Yeah, so you're looking at these 5 figures and you're wondering, okay, who are these guys? What are they doing on the background of this slide? Well, did anyone watch Straight Outta Compton? Came out last year? Yeah, Dr. Dre, NWA, sick film, okay? But what was even more amazing about this movie was how amazing their social media campaign was, and it pretty much went viral. Over 9 million memes were created, 13 million people were visiting the microsites, 27 million people viewed the videos, and 1.2 billion people were able to be reached through earned media. Now, when it comes to content should really be about how can we create amazing videos, memes, assets that people will love, and most importantly, how can we get people to share it? And Straight Outta Compton was one of those campaigns that were able to do so. So if we kind of go back to like the really like granular level, when we look at the definition of content marketing, it is described as a type of marketing that involves the creation and sharing of online material. And it's also described as a marketing technique that creates and distributes valuable and relevant content. So the two words that I really want us to remember as we walk away from this place is we need to be able to create content that is shareable, but we also need to make sure that we're creating content that is valuable to the readers and the consumers. Now, I think pretty much everyone here is relatively like a millennial audience, kind of like between 18 to 30-ish. No, not Nana. Okay, fair enough. We'll keep him to the side. And the fact that we're kind of in this millennial bracket means that we're seeing the world in a completely different way to how it was about 15, 20 years ago. Now, we're basically the kids of the digital age. You know, we grew up figuring out how to use High Five. From High Five, we jumped onto MySpace. From MySpace to Facebook. Facebook then went, and then we were like, okay, what's everyone tweeting about? And then once everyone finished having their conversations on Twitter, we were like, okay, let's go on Instagram. What's everyone taking pictures of? So we basically kind of lived all our lives, pretty much a majority of our lives, on the internet. Now, because of this reason, brands really need to, I guess, be able to understand how different the audience is right now. You know, we're very fluid in our approach. We're very multifaceted. We love to explore different things, different passions. We've got musicians who are now branching into being DJs and designers, who are now branching into being authors. So we're not an audience that likes to stick to one thing. You know, we have different passions, and we have one life, so we want to make sure that we execute that as much as we can. So because of this, we're treating social media as an extension of ourselves. We're treating social media as an extension of our different personalities. So on Instagram, for example, I love to showcase all my styles and my interest in the fashion world. But on Twitter, I might go on and talk about all the books that I've been reading currently, and or the music that I've been listening to. So we're using social media as a way to kind of just showcase our different sides and personalities. And because of that, brands need to stay on top of that and be able to understand what platform is going to be relevant to what audience and how and why. So when it does come to brands, what makes brands stand out to you and us? Now, most of the time, the brands that we fall in love with are the brands that have amazing, amazing, amazing product. And then there's also a lot of brands that we fall in love with because they have amazing stories. So if we're going to create amazing content, how can we merge these two ideals into one? This clicky thing is so funny. Okay, cool. So some of the thought starters that I kind of want us to take away is, if we're going to be able to create amazing content, what are the things that we want to focus on? How are we going to achieve this? So one thing that we need to realize is that we need to pick the right moment. What is the aim of why we're creating this piece of content? Now, are we creating the content for awareness? So we want people to know about our brand, know about our purpose, know about our story? Or are we creating it just because we need a quick fix, we need to make money, we need to, increase the revenue of our company or our brand? Now, we also need to take into account, who is our audience? Why do we want to appeal to that audience? Is it because we want to fulfill the needs of our particular audience? Is it because we want to provide a utility? We want to provide a solution to what the audience might be feeling or needing? Another reason that we need to think of is, are we creating content to spark a conversation, or are we just delivering a story and that's it, So it's definitely about trying to understand the aim as to why we're going to create said content. And then the next thing that we can then focus on is choosing the right medium. Now, once we can identify as a brand or as a company what our USP is, then we can figure out, what do I have as a person or as a brand that my competitors don't have? And with that, how can I tell the story in the best way possible? So Nana touched upon lots of social media platforms that we can be using. And it's quite interesting because social media now has so many different platforms that you can use in so many different ways. So if it's video content that we want to push out there, is it that we focus all our attentions and efforts on YouTube? Or do we kind of go to the short form content and dabble in a bit of Snapchat, or we dabble in a bit of Insta stories. So we've got to pick like what platform we want to focus on and what we want to do with it. Not only that, but influencer marketing. So nowadays, companies are using influencers, tastemakers, credible people in the industry to convey their message for them or on their behalf. So we need to figure out, you know, are we going to use people instead to convey our message? And if so, how are we going to do it? Are we going to collaborate with them? Are we going to make them an ambassador? So there's so many different things that we need to think of when it comes to choosing the right medium. Another thing as content marketers that we can also be thinking about is, do we want our content to be exposed organically? So we want people to be sharing it on our behalf. Or do we want to put money behind it? Do we want to venture into paid social, whereby we can kind of guarantee that whatever said content will be amplified to how many thousands or millions of people? So once we've thought about those things, then we can make sure that whatever we do next is as shareable as possible. And then I guess the last thing that we can then also think of is, what will be the reward? Now, rewards and successes are going to be different to each and every one of us. Some people might say becoming viral will be their definition of success. Some people might say, you know, I just want to get 100,000 views on this particular video and then I've reached my target. So it's really interesting as marketers to be able to understand what our success metric is going to be and be able to monitor those expectations as well. So when we are reporting to our bosses or when we are reporting to our clients, we can say, this is what we believe a success will look like for this campaign, this content piece, and this is how we're going to prove it. Okay. Right, now I'm going to focus on a few pieces of content that sometimes doesn't go according to plan, and then also focus on a few content pieces that do go according to plan. So in the UK, Okay, so if you don't have seats, you can also head downstairs to stream it live, to see it streamed live on your Facebook. Am I right? He's gone. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, can we click play on this Pepsi ad really quickly? Can you guys hear it? No. There's no sound. Okay, awkward. So, did anyone hear about this campaign? Yeah. All right. Did anyone think it was a great one? No. Right. So, okay, this is how sometimes creating content, it might look like it's going to be compelling and it's going to go viral, but sometimes it can go viral for the complete wrong reasons. So here we have Kendall Jenner offering a Pepsi can to a police officer in what seems to be a tense standoff between protesters and the police. And now this had severe backlash just because of the fact that, first and foremost, Kendall Jenner hasn't necessarily been the biggest activist or humanitarian in the world. So as a tastemaker and influencer, to be chosen for this campaign probably wasn't the right choice. Secondly, it seemed that Pepsi thought that by offering a can of Pepsi to the police officer, all the issues in the world and all the protests can suddenly become solved. Now, when people are actively dying, you know, in America, and a lot of people are dying under police brutality, this probably wasn't the right thing to do at the right time. So yeah, Pepsi probably wasn't the best campaign, to be honest. And this is just how sometimes not being able to understand the climate that you are walking into and the political unrest that you're walking into can sometimes have a backlash, or most times have a backlash with this. Let's go to the next slide. I'll just click. So you don't have to play this one. So back in the UK, I was fortunate to be a part of a L'Oreal campaign, which was great. And it was about L'Oreal introducing new colour shades to their collection. So they picked 5 of us to be their ambassador, and it was a way for them to champion diversity by extending their colour range. However, literally 2 days after announcing the campaign and announcing the ambassadors, a local newspaper picked up one of the influencers talking negatively about white supremacy on her Facebook page. So based on everything that was happening in Charleston, she ended up saying that, well, her words were twisted, but basically saying how white supremacy still exists in today's age and racism still exists. And literally immediately after that was put on the local newspaper, she was dropped from the campaign. And because she was dropped from the campaign, there was literally the biggest viral backlash that a brand could ever experience because of their inaction to support her in this situation. So one thing that we need to take away is that as a brand, if you want to step into an arena whereby you're talking about diversity, that means you're going to be talking about uncomfortable issues such as racism. So rather than backing down and stepping aside when an influencer actually has a voice to speak on these things, it's important to make sure that you show signs of solidarity, or in times of unrest, silence. But what they did was they backed down, they fired her, and because of that, they probably had the worst press I think that they've seen in their brand history so far. Next, another example of a really great campaign was Heineken. So this is when I think it's important for brands to understand that when it comes to creating content, sometimes the best campaigns and the best content pieces are when you're appealing to people's emotions. Could we play this one really quickly?
I would describe my political views as the new right.
I say that I'm left.
Feminism today is man-hating.
I would describe myself as a feminist, 100%.
I don't believe that climate change exists. We're not taking enough action on climate change.
I think it's about time these people got off their high horse and started looking for credible problems that actually exist. It's absolutely critical that trans people have their own voice.
That's not right. You can't, you know, you're a man, be a man, or you're a female, be a female. Women do need to remember that we need you.
Vodafone, power to you.